Going on, good people? This is your boy Alberto, your host of the 95 North Falcons Talk Show. Folks, there's a lot of buzz coming out of Atlanta in regards to this open defensive coordinator position that we have. A lot of names are being thrown out. A lot of names are coming in. I know Atlanta just finished wrapping up an interview with Brian Flores, the main cog in all of this, man. That is the go-to, man. Brian Flores, definitely a guy that has a great reputation within the NFL. He's a Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator. Having won one with New England a few years back when Matt Patricia left for his head coaching gig for the Detroit Lions, and Brian Flores assumed role as the defensive coordinator for the New England Patriots, and he did an amazing job that year. So definitely, the credibility is there. Also, Jerry Gray from the Green Bay Packers is also another guy that well respected around the league, and Atlanta has put a request to interview him, as well as Al Holcomb, current defensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers. All of this is happening now, as we all know. Dean Pease decided to retire, and shouts out to Dean Pease and the tremendous job that he did for the Atlanta Falcons. He worked with what he had. I know it's probably far less talent than he has had in the past with his past defenses and stuff. But he did what he can. He came out of retirement to coach with Arthur Smith and help bring along this young defensive unit. Definitely has molded some of the guys in the right direction. Grady Jarrett, of course, still the mainstay here. But you got guys like Troy Anderson, Arnold Ebiketie, D'Angelo Malone, Richie Grant, AJ Terrell. So there's a solid foundation of players to go. And that word foundation, it's been a commonly used word, especially in the season-ending presser from a few weeks back with Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot in regards to this DC search. They say they're going to take their time. It's going to be a prolonged situation, very fluid. But foundation, they kept using that word. So to me, that means, bringing guys in that have similar schemes or run similar schemes to what Dean Pease had here. So, guys like, Jerry Gray and Brian Flores and Al Holcomb and Ivaro Ijaro of Denver Broncos, but unfortunately that got blocked. Those are guys that definitely fit that scheme, fit that mold of carrying on the foundation that's already been leveled here by Dean Pease. But in this midst of all these great names, I have one guy that definitely the Falcons should keep an eye on, or even just entertain bringing in and interviewing him for the process for the DC role, and that's defensive line coach Tracy Rocker of the Philadelphia Eagles. Tracy Rocker, a veteran in this coaching industry, he's been coaching for 31 years, all really as a defensive line coach mainly. But you see the body of work that he's done in Philadelphia right now. And Philadelphia has depth for days. You know what I mean, with the likes of Javon Hargrave and Ndamukong Suh, Linval Joseph, Fletcher Cox, Jonathan Sweat, Derek Barnett, Brandon Graham. I mean, you can go on and on. They just have a good nucleus of young and veterans. There's a great mix there, and Tracy Rocker does an excellent job at putting those guys in the right position to succeed. A lot of the times, I mean, I'm gonna pinpoint one guy specifically, Javon Hargrave's career high in sacks this year, 11 sacks. That's definitely a credit to the defensive coordinator. Dialing up the attacks and stuff like that. But it's really the hands-on work that Tracy Rocker does with these guys in the trenches. So that's impressive in its own right. He's a guy that's been coaching for 31 years, knows a thing or two about about being a defensive lineman, him being one as well. He played in the late 80s, early 90s and stuff like that for the at the time Washington Redskins. Was inducted into the Auburn Hall of Fame a few years back and stuff like that. He's seen so much talent throughout the years. Guys like Nick Fairley and Derek Brown, Marlon Davidson, Yeah, Marlon Davidson, that guy. And just to name a few, but Philly right now, currently, like I mentioned, they have 70 sacks on on hand, and a lot of it is attributed to how Tracy Rocker dials up, the gap assignments and stuff like that. So he more or less runs a variation of a 3-4-4-3. Philly's really known for their wide nine defensive techniques and such. But definitely he knows what he's doing as far as the creativity and that 3-4-4-3 outlook. Um, I think that Atlanta should definitely do their homework as far as bringing him in and giving him a look. He's a guy that's from Atlanta, Georgia himself, 56 years old. He's like I mentioned, man. He's seen a lot of talent. One thing that Philly has, like I mentioned earlier, is depth, and that's a guy that knows that you need a good depth on your line in order to have certain schemes work and just have a fresh group of guys just constantly rushing. So if I had to throw a name in a hat for a potential or dark horse, it would definitely be Tracy Rocker. Um, Currently, the Eagles are in the playoffs, and I don't know what that situation is going to be after today. Hopefully next week there's a small window where they can, ask for an interview for him or ask for permission. But that's one name I would definitely look at, man, is Tracy Rocker of the Philadelphia Eagles. That's my sleeper candidate for defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. And folks, if this is your first time tuning into the channel, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to grow my channel as best as I could. But to all my subscribers, I appreciate you very much, tuning in always and sharing your thoughts with me. And that's what I would like you guys to do. Just come across this video, like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Drop those comments. Let me know what you think. Is Tracy Rocker, in your eyes, a possible candidate for the Atlanta Falcons? Peace.